Every generation, a new fantasy RPG takes the world by storm. But among the hits, there are the overlooked, the ignored. What if I told you there was one we truly messed up with? One that warned us. One that showed us the blueprint of a world no one wanted you to understand. And for its defiance, its refusal to conform, it was buried. It's a comforting feeling to think everybody has a fate, a reason for existing on this planet, be it good or evil. Throughout history, fate has been used to justify all kinds of madness, from burning witches at the stake to paying taxes or battling inflation. It's always painted as your responsibility. We are responsible for certain things in society, even when we didn't choose them ourselves. Kingdoms of Amalur is no different. There are rules, laws set in stone, that the mere thought of stepping out of line makes the villagers' toenails curl. Until one day, the fateless one is born. Born without fate, without some intricate grand plan, no destiny to bind them, no god to answer to. Basically Yamcha when he had that whole baseball side quest. Like everyone else was fighting Raditz and Yamcha posted up at the hot dog stand. But this story isn't about Yamcha's adventures. Imagine a world where fate didn't exist. I mean, some already believe in it and some don't, but this idea of fate has been cast upon humanity. Every generation in recorded history, from the gods in Egypt to Greek mythology to pretty much every mainstream movie, the idea of absolute freedom doesn't exist in mainstream media. That's why Kingdoms of Amalur was more than just a game with the coldest combat system ever. Souls fans are gonna hate me for that, but nah, that combat was smoother than a freshly waxed eyebrow. But combat aside, the real genius of Kingdoms of Amalur isn't in how you swing your sword, it's in the way the world reacts to you. Every villager, guild, and king thinks they know your path. They're comfortable because fate is predictable. It keeps people in line. You ever notice how it's your closest friends and family that generally are the most worried when you step off the path? We tell ourselves we don't want you to end up homeless and destitute, but there's a deeper psychology to it that's actually quite well documented. When someone close to us starts to grow, to defy expectations, it challenges the version of them we thought we knew. The friend we mastered, the one we mapped out in our head, suddenly doesn't exist anymore. In their eyes, you killed your best friend. The one you went to school with. The one you missed the last train and had to sleep in the park with. The one you got beat up with when you took that trip to Thailand. And that can make people uncomfortable, uneasy, even resentful. Because if you can break the rules, step outside the expected path and succeed, then it forces them to confront a question they weren't ready for. If they can do it, why can't I? And that's the invisible pressure of being a fateless one in the real world. You don't just defy fate for yourself, you shake everyone around you. Every choice you make becomes a mirror, showing what others fear they could never do. With every step off the path, you force them to see that their world of rules and certainty might just be an illusion. Many characters in Amalur follow fate blindly, never questioning it. In fact, the mere thought of you being one without fate often sends the villagers fleeing, wanting nothing to do with you. In real life, as much as we love the idea of complete freedom, we actively lock ourselves into systems just for comfort. Blind obedience is comfortable, but it lets corruption, exploitation, and stagnation thrive. Societies often suffer because people accept the way things are, instead of challenging injustice. Think about the last time a lawmaker passed something you completely disagreed with. What did you do? Maybe you thought it couldn't be helped. Maybe you felt helpless to do anything at all. In that moment, you accepted fate. These systems, they exaggerate how big they really are. And at the same time, they lie about how little power each of us actually has. But when we put this concept of fate aside, we usually win. I recently saw this story in Japan. Bus drivers wanted a raise and better working conditions. So what did they do? They went on strike. But not the kind of strike you're thinking. They kept doing their jobs so they wouldn't upset their community. But they refused to let people pay their fares. This directly affected the system without hurting the people. The system relies on us attacking ourselves. But if you stop playing by its rules, if you refuse to feed it, then you don't just resist fate, you spit in its face. Kingdoms of Amalur didn't just build a game world, it built a world that reflects ours. A world where systems, rules, and fate exist, only to be challenged, defied, and rewritten. And yet, as amazing as this game is, it's never mentioned anymore. The gameplay, the level up system, the combat were great. The story was a little clunky, but the concept was rebellious. It dared to break the mold, to show a world so free, they didn't want anyone to see what defiance really looked like.